Today we're going to start with English, and we're not going to do Spanish today. But we're going to turn to the east and give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ba'ashem, elders. Peace, blessing, mercy, and salutations to all the brothers out there. In the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. So, there's a time for everything. We gotta be careful of what we do and say around certain people, certain places. Because basically we're surrounded by people that don't want us to be good. So now we're in the book of Ecclesiastes, and that book means preacher. So that's what I am. I'm a preacher. I didn't get up one day and say, oh, I want to be a preacher. Things happened in my life that made me realize I'm not like other people. One, the first thing that happened is there's a bunch of curses in the book, and those curses apply to me, and they apply to my family. Like for example, school is that's not where my children do the best. My kids do not do good in school. But that's because they don't belong in school. Nobody's kids belong in school. They're supposed to be out here fucking having fun and chopping wood, hitting their hands, falling off horses, falling off trees, getting stung by bees, falling in rivers, almost drowning, shit like that. Like, but what are you guys doing in school? You're surrounded by women. They're teaching you how not to be young men, teaching you how to be little girls, and they want you to accept things that don't make sense in your mind. So what happens is you act like you're supposed to, like a man, and you do things that make people upset. I make a lot of people upset, not because I'm trying to make people mad, it's because we don't agree on things. This is Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So, everything has a purpose, everything has a reason. What I want to know is, move the camera this way, sir. Just point at this way. There you go. So now there's a purpose for everything, right? See, if you take a look at that building, what's the purpose of that building? To make business, right? To get money, to create an attraction. People are going to come here to buy that Panda Express, because that's going to be a Panda Express. See, when we first started coming out here, people were saying, oh, that's not a good spot, you're not going to have no people coming. And I said to myself, man, that's not what the Lord's telling me. He said, go out there. And then there's people from all over the world that send me messages on YouTube, like this last one, from Mr. Lewis. Brother Lewis, how you doing? He doesn't agree about this sign, but he believes. And I tell, you know what I tell him? He's a Samoan man. I tell him, you know what? You're part of the tribes. But now I have an explanation for you. See, there's a time and a place for everything. This sign is actually twofold. It's to bring these people right here into acceptance of the curses, so they can become these people, just like you are, Mr. Lewis. You're part of this tribe. And at the very same time, it's for the 2/3, so that they can come up and say, fuck that sign, blah, 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 this and that. And they do come up here and argue, right? They come up here and try to fight. That's incredible, right? They say that this sign is racist, but it's just to basically condemn also. See, so Negroes come up here, Latino, Native Americans come up here and they say, oh, that sign is racist. Okay. But it's also called you here. See, these are the majority of the people, but also there's something called the Ixus, and there's diasporas left and right. Do you know what a diaspora is? A diaspora is when war happens. Well, let's see. Let's look up that definition. Because that's what we do. You know, we look up definitions. And I'm going to go to the dictionary. The word diaspora. Diaspora or dispersion, spread of a people from the original homeland. The diaspora, both people from Asia or from wherever, like they move people around, right? So all these people got moved around. All these people are the same as this, so they got moved around. See these three people right here? There's a thing called slavery, transatlantic trade, and these group of people right here, slavery came to us in the form of Christopher Columbus. And when Christopher Columbus came over here, he was chopping off our arms because we wouldn't get gold enough for him. That is part of the curses. So these people fit the curses. Although it's not all about these people, it's about the elect. And these people are found the majority of these people. But I'm glad you're out there. So, you know. And now my message is don't let people tell you or try to influence you on who you are. Because, well, let's just look at that. We're going to look up a few things. Let's see. I'm going to look up mine and my son's name because he's named after me. It is, well, my name is actually Kawak, but that's my code. My real name is Yaramya or Yaramhaya or Yaramya, but it means to whom Yahweh has appointed. So, you know, it's a major prophet, and that's what we do. We prophesy like things that coming out of our mouth happen. All right. So the way the teachers treat you is because you belong to these people. Now I'm gonna look up your name. And it came up that says Gabar Ya'ala, and that means warrior of God or man of God. It's an archangel, the angel of God used to send messages of great importance to man. So he was sent to Daniel and he was sent to those who were married. So your name has something great, a great responsibility. So right now it's time for you to accept those responsibilities. You know, you have to come to the conclusion of who you are. Now, also, you know, these people are Israelites, right? The whole of them are Israelites. It means he, prince of power. So we're all princes, basically. We're all going to get the power, basically. Now, we have an evil enemy out there. That's why teachers treat you bad. That's why you get bad grades in school. That's why you're not successful in this man's society. It's because they're against us. So Esau's in control of all this, everything, the roads, the cars, and everything. makes the rules for everything. When these people try to build this restaurant right here, they had to beg Esau permission. If I want to sell my house, I gotta beg Esau permission. He's gonna be like, what the fuck are you gonna do with that money? And I'm gonna tell him, look, I'm gonna try to get a complex and make my money so I'm not poor. You think he's gonna allow that to happen? If Esau is the son of the devil and he knows I'm the son of God, and one day I'm gonna fucking put my foot on his neck, you think he's gonna allow that? He's gonna make it hard for me, right? So he's gonna make it hard for me, he's gonna make it hard for you, he's gonna make it hard. He's gonna make it difficult. You know, and it makes me feel good to know that people hate me. Because if people don't hate you, what are you doing? You ain't doing nothing. Nobody's even noticing you, right? But if people hate you, because people hate you, you're doing something right. You're doing something that they don't like. So this is Ecclesiastes 3 and 2. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. See, so that's spiritual right there, because the time to be born, when Yahushua was born, that was the greatest time in the universe, because that was when salvation was born. And not only that, because the angel Gabriel came down and gave him his name. He said, hey, look, man, you got to name this child this. And his name means this. Alright, so it is right. St. Matthew 1, and well, let's start at 18. Now the birth of Yahushua HaMashiach was on this wise. When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, it says before they came together, she was found with the child of the Holy Ghost. But let me tell you something. Joseph, look at, let me explain something to you. I know you talk to girls at school, blah, 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 blah. Can you keep your hands off them? If they let you touch you, if they let you touch them, can you keep your hands off them? Don't fucking lie. I remember when I was a kid and they let me touch them and I couldn't keep my hands off them. That was the only thing I could think about, right? Right? What about you? How do you feel when a girl lets you touch her? Like, you're like, whoa, right? Yeah, it's exciting, right? So Joseph was with his wife before they got together, before they got actually married, and he put his thing inside her. He got aroused and he said, damn, Mary, you're fine. And she was about 14, 15, and Joseph was about 35, 30, 38. Well, that's how it is, son. That's how it is. You think marriage is something else? Well, marriage is something like right now, marriage would be a man asking a woman, hey, do you want to get into this contract with me? Because marriage is a contract right now. And they would say yes or no. But if you break this contract, I get half of it. That doesn't sound like a good idea, right? Before it was like this. You know, Joseph went up to Mary's father and said, look, I think Mary's fine. Actually, his dad went up to the dad. The two dads got together and said, look, my son Joseph, he's going to have your daughter for a wife. And then the father of Mary said, okay, let me get 30 shekels of silver, or 50 shekels of silver. And that was it. You know a love story? Because they didn't go to school, they didn't meet at school. They were just like, no, I know your dad, and I know your dad, you're a good family. And they had babes together, right? And then that's how you get married. But right here it says, before they came together, she was found with the child of the Holy Ghost. Now, all these Israelites are child of with the Holy Ghost. All these people right here. That's just it. If like, when Papa Jose goes anywhere, girls flirt with him. Have you seen that? Have you noticed that? If he goes to Starbucks and he goes inside and he gets grandma a coffee and him a coffee, he's always starts messing around with the ladies. He always does, and that's not his fault. God made him that way. God made you the same way. So, man, that's just how it is with men and women. So Joseph saw Mary and he said, "Oh, baby, come and sit on my lap, baby." You know, and then she did, and then she was like, "Oh no, but we're gonna be embarrassed." But he still took care of the child, no matter what. And then also, but also, Mary and Joseph had more kids. Because just like I have two of my sons here at camp, Yahushua had two of his brothers in his ministry. So it's a family. Matthew 1:19. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily. That's what happens all the time. You see why he did that is because he's an Israelite. He's got to have style. And like every Israelite you see has got to have style. You remember that Israelite man that was kind of sick in the head? He came over here and started talking. Well, you didn't notice that he was kind of he said he was from a rehabilitation center. So those people are usually drug addicts that are recovering or mentally ill. You have to be able to know these things. So even that guy had flavor. He said he had 2 girlfriends. You know, it's not about what you think. It's about who made you. You know, who made you. And God made you. So he made, and then the greatest gift God has given us is the Bible. This is the words of his son. These are the words that keep you who you are and me who I am. So Joseph was like, "Yo, man, everybody's talking shit. They're saying, oh man, you know, they didn't even wait for the ceremony. She's gonna have a baby, blah, blah, blah." He's talking shit, right? Just like the teacher talks shit about you, probably talks shit about you too. And then he comes back to me, and then they give me a story, and I already know that I have to lie to them. I'm not gonna pick their side. Fuck them. I'm gonna tell them what they want to hear. Look, I'm sorry, miss, whatever your fucking name is. You know, I know they're making your day hard, blah, blah, blah. I just tell them what they want to hear. Why? Because I know what women want to hear. And it's not even a big deal. And then she did this. So that means that she thinks it's a big deal. But all that I did was I took the devil off of your back. Because not only did I talk to you about it, I told you what to do, right? Because a lot of men don't have a father. But Joseph was Yahushua's father, and he didn't abandon him. Just like Christians like to say, you know. Verse 20, Matthew 1:20. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. So that means that the angel gave him a message. And that's how it works for a Hebrew Israelite. You're about to do something. By the way, we all get influenced by angels and demons. When you fuck up, that was a demon. But you gotta learn to identify the difference between an angel and a demon. A demon will tell you that that's a good idea. Look, man, you see that fucking that $100 bill right there? Man, that's a good idea. You see that watch that lady put up on there? That's a good idea. Steal it. No, it's not. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to listen. You gotta always listen and then be like, who the fuck said that? Why the fuck did you say that? And why do you think I'm gonna do it? You know what happens when you do that? You're exercising a demon. Because demons attack all these people. Demons make you step on the fucking gas. Demons make you say, yeah, you're doing great. But shut the fucking ass up. You know? The greatest thing that ever happened, it happens every time we're out here. Like something will happen. Like one time this lady gave us water. That was a good thing. And another time, this Christian came up here and he said he was a Christian teacher, but all he did was argue with me. And he even brought his baby, and this other guy came up and they tried to be sneaky. But I was like, man, you brought this guy with you. And then they couldn't answer my questions, but they wanted me, because they thought that I was doing the wrong thing. What's so wrong about this? I'm trying to empower my people. That's what's wrong. Because the form of Christianity that these people like is Jesus loves you. He doesn't care if you fuck up. But that's not true. He'll fuck you up. He'll fucking kill you. Yes, he will. He will. And people don't believe it until they die. And this is a dangerous place to be also. So you have to be 100% man. Because one time they tried to pull a knife on me. This pastor hired an ex-prisoner to come beat me up. But I'm always ready to fight. This is a dangerous job, but I love it. So nothing bad happened. And then that pastor that tried to do all that, he ended up getting killed in a car accident. So this is a serious thing. You know, you can make fun of me all you want, but the angels are gonna fuck you up. And that's just incredible. It makes me feel good because I got someone watching my back, right? I got someone that says, "Man, that ain't gonna happen." Man, look at when I put a curse on someone, it usually sticks. I don't even know if it happens, but it does happen. I can't see it happening, but the way they act is, it's like it's happened. But guess who does all those curses? Satan. Satan's over here doing work that I'm telling him to do. We are incredible people. So it's time for you to do incredible things. Like, you don't have to start problems with your teachers. Just understand that one day in the near future, they're going to be either your slaves or your subordinates. It's not going to matter what they do or treat you right now, so it's going to be okay. So let's continue. So the thing, he's like, you're trying to get her a divorce, but Joseph has an incredible responsibility. And she should, Matthew 1:21, this is the point. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushai, for he shall save his people from their sins. So the name, what I'm telling you is the name means something. It's important. The part of his name that means something is he shall save his people. And if you break it down, see right here, this is the Paleo Hebrew. That's the Yah, Ha, Wa, Ha, Ba, Hasham, in the name of. That means he exists in the name of Yahweh Shai, he delivers. So this is his name. This is his name. And that's the power that you're going to use. That's like Black Adam. That's what it is. And that's why these white people get scared. That's why they're stopping right there. Oh my God, what's he talking about? But also at the same time, they're afraid to come up there. Because the angels tell them, man, no, I don't think so. Think for you. at the same time, other people do come up here, right? You've seen them come up here. And that's when the angel tells them, hey, man, let's go up there. So there was a lady up here too. She was one of those ladies that might have been a drug addict. But the point is, if you're sick, this is where you get healed. Okay, I'm not trying to say doctors and lawyers and shit like that. They don't give a fuck about this shit. They don't give a damn. But you know who does? People that are sick, people that are hurting, people that are sad, people that have people died on them. That's a great power. That's a great responsibility. So in essence, I'm like a motherfucking superhero because I bring hope to the hopeless, and that's something incredible. So, Mr. Lewis, man, I hope you have that hope inside you still. You know, and then there's a guy in India. You know, how do I reach all these people far away? It's because of YouTube. It's because of job. And even if I'm just talking to one, it makes me feel accomplished. Like I go to work every fucking day, right? 8 hours a day, and there's a time for everything too. And then when I'm at work, those hours that I'm there, I'm not trying that hard because that's for Esau. I still gotta be a slave under Esau. So I just work and I don't give a shit, blah, blah, blah. But the way I start my day is I make a video in the morning. I make a video after I clock out. And then in between I do Esau's work. But I'm always thinking about Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We pray over our food. We have a Passover. We do things like that, right? You remember those things, right? So let's see. And going back to Ecclesiastes. So that was about his name, right? Because I read Ecclesiastes 3. Actually, that was about a time being born. 3 and 2. A time to be born and a time to die. And the greatest time to be born was Yahushai. When Yahushai was born, that was the greatest time. Also, you can, if like those people that are on drugs and everything like that, they're hurting, they can reborn. They can accept Yahushai and be like, you know what, I'm never ever going to do that again. I'm a new person. So they can also be born like that again. Time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. So what do people plant? Food, right? So what I'm doing is I'm planting seeds in people's brains. And people sometimes plant seeds in my brain. It's not like, you can't tell me nothing. A smart man will listen. Because I'm smart enough to know that if the shit hits the fan and we're all about surviving, I'm gonna have to learn how to hunt from someone. Someone's gonna have to teach me how to hunt. And most likely, they're gonna have to teach me how to use a gun. And then I'm gonna take you guys up there to the mountains, and then we're gonna hunt. But the point is to get back to who you are, not to allow this city to get you. So what are we trying to pluck up? So when you plant something, it comes up, you see that flower, you like it, you pluck it up. You can actually eat that, but not that one because it got sprayed. That's a dandelion. You can eat it. So there's a time to plant and a time to pluck up. And it's like, that's how you got to make yourself. So you got to make yourself understand that, you know, this isn't going to happen all the time. People are not going to be agreeing with me all the time. I'm going to have friends and I'm going to have enemies. But I'm going to have to work all the time. So you have to work all the time. Ecclesiastes 3 and 3. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. So that goes into all the captivities we've been going under. So, you know, there was a time where these people were peaceful. under King David and King Solomon, you know, but still before King David, we had to kill. We were these people before we were these people. Now we're these people, and we got to come back to being these people. So when we were in that land, in Israel, we had to kill all those inhabitants because they were living there. And the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, gave us a special direction. He said, kill them all. Men, women, and children. Kill them all. So can you imagine a God, or the only God, giving us directions like that? Not to anybody else, just to us. I mean, he let these people live there, right? And there's, you know, these people are terrible. They were doing a lot of sin. So right here in Deuteronomy 28 and 21, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. So, you know, when we were in different lands, there was a point in time where other people came and took us as slaves. You know, can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Put that in your head, put that thought in your head. Like you're eating your food, and then all of a sudden you hear trumpets blast, and you're like, oh shit. You gotta defend yourself. But the way you defend yourself is you gotta kill people. Not only just 2 or 3, maybe like 100 or 1,000. They're coming in great force to move you out of that land, to take you away as a slave and put you somewhere else that you never knew. That's not cool, right? But it all happens, it all comes back, all right? Ecclesiastes 3 and 4. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. So what's the time to weep? When you realize that you're fucking up. You gotta feel bad about it. Because there's consequences to it. If you're doing, like, let's say, if you're working at McDonald's and you're telling people, look, why don't you go to Burger King? The Whopper's way better. And your boss finds out, he's gonna fire you, right? So what the job means is that with that job you have stability, you have food, you have consistency, you got some money coming in, you got this and that, but you know it's coming in, right? When someone disrupts that, you don't know what's coming. Look, when we were under the Spanish captivity, led by the Catholic Church, 1492 Papal Bull Act, there wasn't no such thing as sorry, I won't do it again. You were just getting killed. And there were the people that would go around and cut babies out of pregnant women's bodies and slam them on rocks. Boom. It's in the books. It's in books written by priests. Called memoirs. They write about the things they saw, and that's pretty intense. But also what's intense about that is it was a punishment. It was a punishment. So you're getting punished for that. I don't know if you remember that, but when you were 3, you fell off your bed and broke your collarbone. How does that happen? You didn't fall very far. You know how hard it is to break your collarbone? It's hard to explain, right? But it happened. That kind of stuff happens all the time. Let's see, there was a point in time where there was a place, I don't know what it's called, Canary Islands. There was volcanoes erupting every single day for like 30 days. Earthquakes and everything. People's houses getting burned. That's fucking scary, right? So, in this book, there's accounts of people getting killed just because Yahweh got mad. He killed his own people, he killed other people, but he killed mostly his people. And when he comes back, he's going to send his son with spaceships, like bad ones. And they're going to destroy a bunch of things. So let me show you what the power of that is. And 35, and this is an actual point in history. So there's history to back this up, and it's the Bible to back it up. So there's history and Bible. All right, ready? 2 Kings chapter 19 verse 35.